Well, here we go. Josey from Hog Cutters Trapping Company. People seem to have a lot of interest in what we do. Currently, we're running 21 trapping systems in 3 states. So we're going to dive into the YouTube a little bit, see how it goes. We're out here today putting corn in a bait site. I'm going to flip this camera around. I got no idea what I'm doing, but I'm going to try. Historically, this is a very hog-infested area. It's a good water source. Currently, we've had a lot of rain. All the timber around it's been clear-cutted. So a little on the crazy side, using hip waders to go to a bait site. But we're going to show you what we're doing here today. So normally this is just kind of a pocket of water. Hogs like to come in here and waller, rub on all these trees. Got as far in as I wanted to get with the four-wheeler. Back that way, we run a trap year-round. There's a 53-acre field over there, kind of at an opening on the other side of that tree line. And then there's fields on the other side of this tree line. And about a quarter-mile back that way, we run another trap. So, got a bait site going here. On-time feeder, which is our feeder of choice. We like to mount all of our cameras high so it gives a realistic image of what the hogs look like versus on the ground. We call it the big pole. Just got done putting a bag of corn in there and test the feeder. You can see I'm got my hip waders on. But anyway, that's it. So once this water comes down, be plenty of corn down here. The ducks have been hitting it really hard. It's kind of funny. There's probably 30 ducks in here when I drove in. But once we get the water down, corn will get here, hogs will come through. Main thing what we're looking for here is just to locate hogs and to know they're here. Like we said, we got a trap right over that way. And this is just kind of our way of gathering some intel on hogs that might be migrating through. Now that all this timber's been cut, it will be a problem once we replant it in pines. Once the pines start coming up, it gives quite the little hidey-hole haven for hogs. Right now, not much interest in it, but usually there's cotton or peanuts on that side. Back on this other side is cotton or peanuts. So we run bait sites and traps year-round in this area right here. So hopefully this little video gives you an idea how we do it. And again, we're trying this YouTube thing out. But we're going to keep it clean. We're going to keep it the way we want to do it. We're not trying to entertain anybody. We're trying to educate you. Of course, there is occasionally some humor. Things go wrong out here. Little video here on trap maintenance. We perform trap maintenance every month, every 30 days on all of our systems. So we're going to flip this camera around and let you see how we do it. So this is a standard Jagger Pro trap, 12 panels. Running a single gate system, on-time feeder. You'll notice this trap is a little on the oval side. We kind of like an oval trap, gives a little bit more distance between the feed and the gate, just a little bit more distance. Back here, we're running a Jagger Pro ice camera so we can watch the outside of this trap. We found that's useful, that's standard for us. And then on the other side over there on the big pole, we've got the Jagger Pro Mine camera. So when we do trap maintenance, we're going to go into the feeder. We're going to test the feeder, test the batteries in the feeder. Runs 10 lithium, AA's. Suspend the motor, fill the feeder. We're also going to do the exact same thing with the mine camera, except we're going to swap out the 6-volt that's underneath it, which is rechargeable. So we always have a battery with us and swap out the 6. And we're going to go ahead and test the mine camera. You'll see our camera angle the way that we do it is we like that feeder a little offset so the camera's looking at that gate. That's what we care about. And then once we get actually ready to trap, we'll pour a little line of corn out here so we can count them really good. This trap's up 24/7, 365. 50 yards that way is a swamp. A couple 100 yards is another crop field. We have a trap actually on the other side of that swamp. Had to make a road to get back into here to it. So it's not for our comfort, it's actually for the hog's comfort. Also part of trap maintenance is swapping the battery out in the gate. We'll take a little WD-40. Some people disagree with using anything like that because the hogs will smell it, but in our opinion, it's us they smell. They're used to smelling WD-40, most of these crop hogs are. Spray a little bit on here, work the trigger mechanism, good to go. Come in, swap the battery out, make sure you've got this padding back. That padding back helps keep this from shaking around. Also Velcro. When you bought your trap, it would have had Velcro. So if you've added a different battery, just make sure you got Velcro on it. Won't pull up. So we'll test the gate and make sure the gate functions. Test all the cameras, test the feeder, and then mark it on our board at the shop. Come back in 30 days. We're gonna head down in here in the swamp. We've got a project we're working on. Bad part about the swamps, it's where the hogs are at. And no shortage of cottonmouths. I've been around them for 20 years, in my opinion. They don't really seem to want much to do with you. People will argue that all day long, that they're aggressive. I don't know, maybe they are, but most of the time they don't want nothing to do with us. See, he just took off. Basically at the beginning of the swamp and at the end of the swamp, we're setting up it's an experiment. We'll see if it's gonna work. But basically we need a way to slow down, get a picture of these hogs, gather some intel. If we pour corn on the ground, the coons are just gonna eat it, squirrels are gonna eat it. So we designed this peanut butter holder that we're gonna mount back here on this T-post. So what we did was we took a 4-inch PVC pipe, knowing our peanut butter jar was about a little under 4 inches. We drilled our hose at an angle, put a cap on it, then went ahead and glued this bottom on with a screw out cap that we can actually take that cap and remove it if we want to. And we can actually remove the top cap. And we're gonna take it, strap it to this pole. We've experimented with just a plain peanut butter jar, stick it up in a tree, and it works good. The hogs slow down, they know it's in here, they just don't know where. So we need something a little bit more permanent so we can get in here and clean this out, you know, get the bugs out, replace the peanut butter jar. Hopefully it'll last, you know, maybe a month, we're hoping. But it's an experiment. So we're gonna go ahead and place the peanut butter jar inside the container. I went ahead and took the lid off. As you can see, it just slides right in there. Okay. I'm gonna screw our cap on. And we're gonna come over here. We're gonna Gorilla Tape it to this post. We found Gorilla Tape is clearly one of the best things that we can come up with. Pretty durable out here. Hog traps, anything. So we mount a Jager Pro ice camera. We really don't like mounting anything to a tree. Squirrels, ants, coons. But when we got to, we do. But you'll see how we did it. We used a screw-in mount, and we put the wires as far up front as we can to get it away from the tree. We found that squirrels are less likely to chew on it then. So this is just kind of a temporary thing. If this ends up being permanent, we'll bring a big pole down here, our 4x4 pole we use, and do this. But this will tell us about hogs coming into the beginning of this swamp. We're going to set a station up just like this at the end of the swamp. And then actually on this swamp, there's 2 hog traps on one side, hog trap on the other side. So we're running 3 Jager Pro traps surrounding the swamp. We've got crop fields on both sides. So let's get this strapped to there, Gorilla taped on, and go from there. Okay, so we got our PVC pipe with the peanut butter mounted in it. So it's a little bit of an experiment, like I said, but you can stand next to it and you can actually smell the peanut butter. We just did holes on each side, Gorilla taped it on there. See if we got our camera going. The problem with swamps is that it's such a good living, breathing space for hogs, and most people in their right mind would never go down in here. And that's what we ran into years ago on our farm. we had certain sections of the swamp we didn't go in, just left it for the deer, and the hogs got in there, and there you go. So sometimes you'll have hogs and not even know it because you just don't go in places like this. So being able to put a little peanut butter station up like this will give us an idea when hogs are passing through here. There's some really good sign trails up here where I can show you, that we look for, when we're scouting. You've got a rub right there on a tree, a little dirt rub from hogs. But it's just something that we're going to try, versus putting a camera up, hit or miss, get a picture of a hog. Like I said, if we put corn down, the corn will be gone. So, all right. Now, one thing we've learned over the years is that when you do see rubs like this on trees, so that's clearly from a hog. That one right there doesn't necessarily mean it's fresh. We've learned that dirt gets on there, kind of bakes on there, stays on there. So it's deceiving. What we start looking for is historical rubbing, where the tree is actually just, they just wore it out. That means hogs have been in there for a long time. You can see their trail here, which is headed up to a crop field. Probably about 400 yards up through here. But just us being in here today is enough to run them right out of here. So our little peanut butter station will work good to kind of tell us if we've got hogs. When it rains a lot, they've got plenty to eat down here, plenty of grubs to eat, soft dirt. So just one more way to gather intel. And again, it's proactive hog control. It's not reactive. We're staying on top of this. So we know when they're in here, and we don't necessarily need to respond because we've got everything in play, meaning we've got traps up in semi-permanent locations. So hopefully this video gives you a little help. Hopefully our test will work. About 5 a.m. Dropped just a little bit ago on a solo boar we've been looking at for a while. I think the first time he came by the trap was April 23rd. He never would come in, which is kind of normal. They'll go by there. They know what it is. But anyway, they keep coming by and they keep coming by, and then they finally come in. So we went ahead and flipped the switch. Seems kind of odd to be documenting all this, but people seem to want to know how all this works out. So right now I'm loading up. Boys are inside. It's a Sunday morning, but I kind of like being out by myself at night. And just, I don't know, it's peaceful. Anyway, kind of show you the process of loading up. I got the not so puppy out here. She kind of figures it out, boy. When she sees me start grabbing a cooler and getting my gear together, she knows we're going somewhere. So anyway, let's walk you through it. Getting the gear together. We'll walk on down here to what we call the hog shed, where we keep the business at. And that's the headquarters for Hog Cutters Trapping Company. Get some lights on. So we charge all of our batteries. Keep track of all the customers, gates, cameras, maintenance dates. We got all the, kind of like a firehouse. But I'll check the board and see when the maintenance was done on this trap. And then since I'm there, I'll go ahead and do it. We're gonna take the Tacoma today. Small little truck, gets in really good in tight places, doesn't make a lot of weight. Clearly everything else is Dodge and everything else is diesel. We've got 2 other diesels in the big shop we walked by. But anyway, I'm gonna take the little Recon. We got 2 4-wheelers for the business. This is the little one, and then we have a 450. They do a great job, but for something like this, you'll see it's tight getting down in there. So anyway, I don't have a cameraman, it's just me, so I need to put this down so I can get to work. We'll get back to you. We'll gonna get that slammer out of there and not so puppy. She's gonna wanna go, clearly. She's gotta go. So we put her crate back there and she rides. Cooler weather like this, early morning, she'll ride with me. But when it starts getting hot, I gotta leave her at home because if I'm out working outside the truck, it's just too hot. All right, we're gonna load up. So I checked the board. We did trap maintenance on the system the 19th of May. Probably gonna go ahead and do it today since we're gonna be in there. We do it every month, no matter what. Swap that gate battery and the camera batteries. Keep all the batteries lined up here, pull them off, let them cool, hit them with the voltmeter. Hit them a second time with a voltmeter before they go into the system. Works out really well. It's the only way we figured out how to keep track of everything so everything stays maintained. But this building has grown. It started with 2 bays, and then went to 3 bays, 4 bays, 5 bays. We're out of room. At least we can't go no further that way really on the property. We'll mess up our road. And then we keep extra inventory. That's a big tree limb that fell 30 foot, took me out. Broke my collarbone, missed my head by a couple inches. So I keep it up there to kind of remind me of crap can just go wrong quick. Unfortunately, the family saw it, but it all worked out. So anyway, we're gonna grab these batteries, get over here and got everything pretty much loaded up and start heading that way. So we got the little 4-wheeler loaded, hooked up to the Tacoma. That dog won't get right in the head till she gets in that crate. She's got a lot of sass in her for a young dog, but all of our trailers got names. I think we have 7 trailers for the business. This one here is called the Lee trailer. All of them have winches, 12-volt batteries. It's named the Lee trailer after a buddy of mine. He died. So we named the trailer after him. Now, it might seem a little odd, but anyway, he was a good guy. But just getting ready to go. We got our own fuel station here because we work a lot of odd, weird hours. A lot of times gas stations ain't open where we live, so got to have our own fuel. And getting ready to roll on out. You ready to go, baby? Hey, are you sassy? Hey, are you sassy? Seriously? You're not even going to entertain that. Are you sassy? Oh, there's the sass. Are you sassy? All right, you ready to go? Come on. Come on, let's go. Let's go. You ready? Huh? He's ready. Oh, yeah. Well, we got a little time here. Just turned down the gravel road, headed back here to the trap. This is our oldest customer. He was our first customer when we started the business. He's a big farmer around here, leases a lot of property. So it's always good to trap, I don't know, trap for your first customer. You know, just to, I don't know, he helped us get started. He's one of these older guys that, man, you could sit on his back porch and talk to him for hours. The wisdom. He moves kind of slow, but just, I don't know, the wisdom that you can get from sitting talking to him. But we nicknamed this trap the Triangle Trap, from the Bermuda Triangle. I don't know, it was, like I said, we started the business with him, and we kind of knew what we were doing. I'm not saying we know what we're doing now, that's for sure. But, yeah, we fight in daylight. That's a term I use a lot. Daylight's on us now. Totally disagree with responding to a trap in the daytime, shooting hogs in the daytime. Anything to do with daytime and shooting hogs is just wrong, in my opinion. It's hard on the hogs. It's hard on the traps. Get them in the day, you know, get them in the dark. Sometimes you can't help it. You got to go in the daytime, but I don't agree with it. Get your butt out of bed, go kill your hogs, and go home. You know, we're currently running 21 traps in 3 states, and good majority of them are within about 50 miles of the house, but anyway, it's what we do. But this particular farm here, we became friends with the man our customer leases from. His name is Mr. John. We've got a lot of pictures of Mr. John over the years. Helped me trap a lot of hogs 2020, and then COVID kicked in. We were on an 18,000 acre job. Trapped 1,028 hogs in 8 months. But then COVID kicked in, and Mr. John had some health issues, so he had to step back a little bit, kind of lay low. So anyway, a lot of good memories there, a lot of stories. So we're on the tail end of our planting season here in South Georgia, which is a really stressful time for us as a business. It's a lot of work during planting season. We're keeping these properties relatively hog free, try to, and then inevitably somebody pushes a bunch of hogs on us, and then we gotta put it in high gear. End up doing a lot of trapping, thermal work. It's just a crazy time for us. But we actually run 2 traps on both sides of this gravel road. This one we're headed to, like I said, it's called the Triangle Trap. There's one over here on the left, it's called the Pig Pen. We name them all, that way you can keep them straight. But the Pig Pen is actually because there used to be a hog pen over there. A lot of these farmers used to raise hogs on the slab, concrete slab. So that's where a lot of your original hog problems started from. A few hogs got out here and there you go. But so we're going to ease back here a little bit, and then we're going to walk on in. You'll hear me say we a lot. A lot of times it's just me and the baby, the not so puppy. But I just use the term we a lot because, you're an idiot if you think that for a minute that this is all done by one person. From the guys at Jagger Pro that build the systems, the camera support, my bride sitting there doing paperwork. No, it's okay, baby. She sees some cows. It's okay, baby. But my bride doing paperwork. It just, the whole world revolves around multiple people doing stuff. And if you think you're the only one, just because I'm the only one out right here right now, don't mean there ain't a bunch of folks with me. Living and dead, if you want to get technical. But anyway, so let me get back here, get my rubber boots on, get my rifle. We're going to ease on down here to the trap and do what we got to do. So here we are. I got to get Mr. John to bush hog my road a little bit better coming back in here. It's kind of an old growed up field. All right, baby, you wait. I always tell her that. I think she knows. You got to wait, but I'll be back. See, we let these traps just grow up all brushy. Good Lord. Yeah, this ain't his first rodeo. Now, if it was daytime, he'd be beating the living hell out of this trap. He's just letting us know he's here. Looks like he's got some good cutters on him. Now you might be thinking, like, that's just a single boar. What's the big deal? God knows how many millions of pounds. That's an exaggeration. Hey, fella. Peanuts he's eating. You know what I mean? He's eating a lot of peanuts. Hard on a farmer, hard on the ecosystem. But if you put these traps down in these holes like that, with trees, kind of gives them a little comfort level. Also, you know, he'd be going crazy right now. So let me get to work because he's getting kind of cranked up. Oh, took one shot right to the head. That's what you want. Just put him down quick and easy. But like I said, if you come down in the daytime, they get all cranked up. They're harder to kill. But he's got some decent cutters on him. Once he gets them kicking out, you look at them cutters, but that is a big hog. I mean, we trapped something bigger than that. But, yeah, he's eating some peanuts in as well. But yeah, we like to bury him down here like this. But it's pretty neat. I don't know, maybe you won't think it's neat. That camera there is the oldest camera that we have in our fleet, or whatever you want to call it. That camera has taken over 71,000 pictures. Still works. Cracks me up, man. I don't know how it still works, but it does. Flip the switch, drops that gate right there. So anyway, let me get the four-wheeler down here. We're gonna get. I'll kind of show you the lay of the trap. We'll run a camera on the outside, and anyway, a lot of coons down here, so we got to run. It's an on-time feeder, but we modify it, keep the coons off of that varmint guard. So we're back up here at the truck. All of our trucks are pretty much set up the same way. They got every kind of tool you can imagine and anything you can think of for fixing a trap, spare parts. We got impacts, sawzalls, a post hole digger, loppers, which reminds me I need to grab loppers. They're pretty much set up the same, toolboxes, everything you think of. We have good luck with the four-wheelers. We have the ladder because we need a ladder to get into the feeders to put corn in them. That's a yoga mat, and I do stretch every day. I don't claim to do yoga, but I don't stretch with that mat. But then we have a trapping bag. It's got anything you can think of in that. So it's evolved over the years to know what we need. We bought that four-wheeler brand new. Never did run right. Never did want to take the time. It's got an extended warranty and all that. But yesterday, since we're slowing down since plant season, I bought a brand new factory carburetor for it. I guess I was batting 100 yesterday because I put it in, and God knows it's running now. So we bought it in 2019 and never would run, or run idle. So anyway, but we're gonna head on down there. Absolutely beautiful morning. I don't know why the hell anybody wanted to sleep through this. That's the bad part. I love the night. I love the mornings. I love it all. Man, we've had so much rain. The blackberries. The blackberries. They're just blowing out everywhere. But anyway, I'm gonna grab my loppers. We're gonna head down there and kind of walk you through the trap a little bit. Like I said earlier, the reason we have winches and 12-volt batteries on most of these trailers is actually for winching hogs up. We've got block and tackles in the ammo cans, stuff we figured out to attach to trees to help us pull hogs on, pull hogs off. We buy these cheap, inexpensive winches. They seem to work good. Pay an extra $25, get a 2-year warranty. On that big 18,000 acre job, we did blow one up, but it drug over 1,000 hogs, so I guess it was time. But anyway, let me grab my loppers. We're gonna head down there and trim that road up a little bit where that storm come through, and then we're gonna talk about the big hog. All right, we're back down here at the trap. That big limb I showed you earlier that fell on me, when you go to yanking on these vines and stuff out here in the woods, man, think about them vines being attached to something. So that old dead live oak limb was laying up there for 5,000 years, 30 foot up in the air, and I yanked on a vine, and I guess I flipped the switch up there in the big sky, and here she comes. So just, man, I look up now. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, we back down here at the trap. Kind of see the trail. Kind of made, literally cut it by hand. Again, it's about their comfort, the hogs' comfort. It ain't about our comfort. I mean, anyway, we could talk for days about that. He's grown, big old boy. Noticed one thing kind of interesting on him. Probably a bullet hole. He might have been out in the field one night and somebody shot at him and pierced his ear by accident, you know, missed. I don't know, but it looks like a bullet hole. He does have some cutters, but they're not real big. They're worn down because he's just an old hog. So a little bit on getting into these traps with hogs. Several years ago, I dropped on a group on 1,200 acres. There were a couple hogs that weren't completely dead. The big boar, which, and I'm not joking, made him look small. He was probably pushing 450 pounds. We posted pictures of him. But I got into the trap to finish off these couple of sows that were on the other side of the trap. And then I turned around and he rammed me. The mine camera, that camera up there, you can adjust it to whatever you want, but we have ours set to factory settings of taking a picture every 2 minutes. And you can ask it for a picture, but anyway, we know that I was in the trap for 2 minutes fighting with him. He kept ramming me. He was old. His cutters were rounded. If his cutters were sharp, I don't think I'd have made it because he kept hitting me in the side. And I had a rifle, Marine Corps 101, don't drop your rifle. So I wouldn't drop my rifle. I know it doesn't seem like it makes sense, but there was no time to shoot. I shot him one time when he first charged me. After that, it was just pure fight for your life. Eventually, we know at 2 minutes, I was able to get out of the trap. I kept trying to get out. He rammed me a couple times and knocked me down. And ultimately went ahead and took him on out. I don't know if he got a second wind or I don't know what happened. But when I walked by him, I mean, you could tell he wasn't going to get up. So just be careful of that. We let our traps grow up like this. We like it. Walk over here. You see we got our little creek. It's kind of a, you know, wet weather creek. We got our ice camera over there on that tree. And so back on April 23rd, I think it was, he came up the creek. That's the first time we ever saw him. And then he just stopped. You know, he just stopped, looked over here because they can smell corn, you know, 80 billion miles away. He didn't want nothing to do with this and went on. And that's been his routine. And then a couple nights ago, he went ahead and came on in for 2 hours. We watched him. And then early this morning, went ahead and flipped the switch. So God knows, I don't know how many billions of pounds of peanuts he's eaten in his lifetime. But we're going to go ahead and do our trap maintenance. Like I said earlier, we got a heavy coon population down here in this water hole. So we add this hardware cloth. I mean, the coons can actually reach in there and flip that spinner on that on-time feeder. And we'll do maintenance on the cameras, swap out the rechargeable batteries, which are in that box. Let the camera run on its own with 12 lithiums. Cameras are the same on both ends. We don't run any trap without 2 cameras. If we never had that outside camera, we'd have never knew this guy existed. So, as I said earlier, we will take and, you know, run a voltmeter on these batteries again to make sure that, you know, they're fully charged. We mark, you know, our identification and then the date on the battery. After about 2 years, we normally trash the batteries. They would last longer. I'm confident they do, but it ain't worth it to us. And then you got your standard voltmeter. And we got a place where we're going to take him to. And anyway, that's kind of it right now. Just kind of wrapping up here. Do our maintenance, get him drug out of here, do a couple pictures. And so hopefully, you know, this video helps kind of understand the process. Again, a beautiful day here in South Georgia. It's going to get hot today, but better than snow. And we back here at the truck. We got loaded up. Sent Mr. John a picture and a text message of the hog. He said, "Another dead hog. The world is a better place today." So Mr. John farmed this farm till he got too old. Now he leases it out. His daddy farmed it. And he fought hogs for years, Mr. John did. And so I guess what people don't understand is that if he can't lease his farm, it's gonna be hard for him to pay his taxes. That's what it's all about. He's leasing his farm and able to pay his property tax. And he'll pass that farm on to his family. So the proactive approach, which is what we do for hog control, laying these traps up in these spots, taking groups out, taking singles out. We're not chasing hogs, we're trapping hogs. And that's really the key to our success. So what happens from now? Traps up and running. Got to come back in 30 days and nothing doesn't happen. Fresh batteries, put more corn on the ground. Get home, clean up all of our gear. Get cleaned up, take a nap, and a short night. It's already 8 o'clock here in South Georgia. Already sweating, but it's better than snow. So I hope this video explains, how we do what we do, the details of it. And again, it's a universal problem. The hogs are. People don't see it that way. I talked to a lady the other day in New York, didn't even know about wild hogs, but it affects the market, it affects the economy, it affects everything. So anyway, we're giving this video stuff a try. Y'all have a good day.